Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Shining Light. This is a show where I shine a light on my guests and the positivity they're spreading in their communities. Before I introduce my guest to you today, who is awesome, by the way, I just want to share with everyone our Pedal for Purpose fundraiser has just hit just over $3,000. So this is awesome, huge accomplishment, but we have so much more to go. We are looking to raise $30,000 in order to help the children in Haiti, help them in their medical needs and in their educational needs. So please, if you haven't yet, please visit joinpedalforpurpose.com. It'll be in the links, and also it's on my shirt here if you could read it. Joinpedalforpurpose.com. Myself and a bunch of other riders are going to be riding 105 miles on May 31st in order to raise awareness for the need in Haiti. Speaking about raising awareness, there is a gender gap that we are going to raise awareness on today. My guest today is a founder, a second generation founder. Her mother was a co-founder to this company. And when her mother was in grad school looking to be an entrepreneur, she was told she'd be lucky to pass the class or even get a C. And she proved them all wrong by founding a company and in passing the baton on to her daughter. I'd like to welcome to all of you, Julie from Mid-Atlantic Packing. Welcome to the show, Julie.
Hello, Michael. Thank you for having me.
I am very honored to have you on the show today. It's always cool to meet a founder, and not just a founder, but a generational founder, someone who has taken over a company and then brought it to another level and setting the stage for, you have two daughters,
I
setting the
do.
stage for your daughters and their generation of female entrepreneurs. So it's so cool to have you on. I have two daughters, so that's why it's so important to me as well.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So tell us a little bit about your story and what you do with your clients. When we were talking earlier, you were sharing with me about packaging and how important packaging is, excuse me, branding, how important branding is in terms of and how it aligns with packaging. And so I'm curious on how you walk your clients through their branding, their packaging needs, and how you bring that all together.
Yeah, so I am second generation here at Mid-Atlantic Packaging Company. My parents founded the company 43 years ago, and then my dad's brother, my uncle Don, he became the third owner a couple years later. So I grew up with parents who were entrepreneurs, and they never pushed it upon any of us, my sister, my cousins. They said that this was their passion to be entrepreneurs, to own their own business, and for they wanted us to be able to find our own passions. And here I am for as the next generation here at Mid-Atlantic Packaging, and I absolutely love it. One of the reasons why I love it so much is because our customers are independently owned entrepreneurs and business owners. Typically, most of our customers are those independently owned retailers, and I love getting to work with other entrepreneurs and be a piece of their journey and of their success with their own companies. And today, more than ever, branding and marketing is so important, especially with retail, as far as the emotions, the feelings that are driven and created when you go shopping, when you buy things. And that studies have been done and polls taken as far as the packaging absolutely impacts if somebody purchases from you versus someone else. And that it also can make it so that your product or your brand, your store, it can look like it is more expensive than it actually is by the packaging. So we here at Mid-Atlantic Packaging, we help our customers from whether they have a graphic design of their brand, their logo, or if they need help with one, and creating whether it's shopping bags, boxes, mailers, anything, gift basket supplies, anything that has to do with retail packaging. We help them to as a guide, and get that delivered to them to make it as easy as possible. Because as we all know, being entrepreneurs is a lot. We juggle a lot, and we're here to help with making at least one piece a little bit easier.
Mm. I mean, Apple obviously set the foreground for this, and that Steve Jobs was very diligent about the packaging of the Apple products, and it's really set the tone for all of us going forward on in terms of packaging. And now companies like yourself making it affordable for smaller retails to be able to
Yeah.
package like that. I know for myself, personal experience, and I'm sure many out there can attest to it. When we get something off of Amazon, if it just comes in a box and out of a plastic bag, we're kind of like, okay, whatever, it is what I paid for. But I know I've been buying a lot of equipment for my Pedal for Purpose ride, for my bicycle. I've been buying a bunch of different horns and bells and all sorts of grips and everything. And I buy a variety to see which one makes the most sense for me. And it's different when I pull something out of a packaging, and it's just like got that good cardboard packaging, and things are tight in there and locked in, and you could just feel the package is a little bit more sturdy, and it does give me the feeling that, oh, I got a good one here, I got a good product here versus the others. I know that that's subliminal, I know that that's all marketing, and with that knowledge, it still kind of plays a role in my decision making when I purchase things.
Mhm.
So we definitely know that in terms of branding. And I know that on your website you offer a free consult with anybody who's interested in learning about how they can tie their brand to the packaging and kind of figuring out the right fit. One of
Yes.
the other questions, go ahead.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And the great thing is that we are also a stocking distributor. So all of the stock products without logos and branding, we have in our warehouse that can ship out the same day. And then we have different levels of branded packaging. So depending on where you're at in your journey, we really can assist you with whether you're looking just for the plain stock, or you want to have some plain stock with a little bit of maybe your logo on a label or a tag or on a bag. But and then, or those that are at that level where they want a fully customized packaging collection.
Mm.
So we really pride ourselves with the ability to do all of that.
And yeah, and that gives a lot of different options. And I would also probably say that, based on what you do, it's a competitive space, right? So you're competitive, you have competitors out there. And we started the show off with closing the gender gap.
Mhm.
So what I'm curious on is why you, right? The question is, why should I choose to work with you versus another
Mhm.
competitor? And how do we use, or how do we see, closing this gap and being a woman founder, a female
Mhm.
founder, or part of the founding, your
Yeah.
mom being the founder and yourself carrying the baton here? How do we see that as some value for the people buying from you?
Right. It is really important as second generation of a company to not only know where you're going for the future, but to also really be confident in who you are and who you've been. And this company was founded on the fact of it being a family owned business, that we really care about who our customers are, and that customer service, out of all the things in business that we do not have control over, customer service is one that we do. And so we take huge pride and a lot of work and effort into making sure that we're really offering our customers the best experience that they possibly can get, and that we've been in business for 43 years, and we have so many customers that we have had for a very, very long time. And it's because of the relationships that we also are able to build with our customers, and that matters to us. And that is a huge strength of ours that
Mm,
you don't
yeah.
get in a lot of other businesses out there and experiences, is those small touches, and just making sure that we reach out to people, that we check in, that we do our part to be a partner with our customers. And that was part of the foundation of this company 43 years ago. And I'm really, really proud to say that that is equally as important to us now as it was then.
And yeah, and that speaks to your service, and that speaks to the
Yeah,
relationships that you have, which I think does cross over in all genders.
right.
Something that I think is important to mention here is that you also volunteer at your daughter's schools, and you were part of a judging committee for a competition to highlight entrepreneurship. And so when we're talking about supporting a woman-owned business, supporting women founders, and supporting women in general to be able to, not just get a C in a class like what that professor had told your mom, but be able to ace it, that support is setting the example. And you're setting an example as a female founder, and excuse me, as a female entrepreneur, and setting the example that it's possible, and it's possible to go to other levels. And so I think that when working with an organization like yours, that's proving it to that next generation as well. It's proving it to your daughters, to my daughters, to the other women, the other girls in our atmosphere, to learn that, hey, look, the ceiling's no longer here. There is no ceiling. It's uncapped, and it's uncapped because of people like you. So I think that by working with you, we're extending that arm to that
Yes.
next generation.
Yeah, when I started here in my 20s, and obviously growing up, we all like work summer jobs here and not the most glamorous summer jobs, but it
Boston.
worked, and I learned a lot. And so when I started working here, and then I decided that this company was my future and that I wanted to take over the business, that was my goal. And I had blinders on, and I didn't think about at that time that I was like that I was a woman. That's what I wanted to do. And so I set my blinders on, and took on every possible way to learn and to grow. My mom mentored me for 5 years before I first was COO here at the company before becoming CEO. And so I really plugged and worked my tail off. And when I became CEO, I was exposed to the fact that only 2% of female founded businesses reach that seven-figure mark, which blew my mind because when I went out to do this, it was because this is what I wanted and my passion. And then to realize that, I was like, well, that's just crazy. And that really opened my eyes to where we're at and where we still have work to do. And with that, as a mom, how am I showing up? It's as simple as, the homework of that they had with reading and how, you have to read 30 minutes a night. And I realized I'm telling my kids I have to do this, but they don't see me reading. So back when they were younger, I started reading again because I saw, okay, I need to set the example. And just like you said, that's the same thing with me now as a female CEO and second generation, is I do have to keep in mind that I am setting an example, that I am setting a tone. And that made me start thinking about, as my girls got older, and now, my oldest was in 7th, 8th grade, now she's a freshman, and making sure that when they have those job fairs, the career fairs, that are there entrepreneurs there? Who is showing up? Who's showing up for the girls and what their possibilities are, and for the boys and what the possibilities are? Who's showing up there? And that's why I started getting involved even more in the local schools, was just making sure that they're seeing the possibilities. And we have internships here at Mid-Atlantic Packaging. My degree is actually in education, kindergarten through 8th grade. I taught 1st grade for a couple of years before transitioning into business. And so I get to use that skill set here at work every day. And now and with our customers and teaching and educating them on packaging. And now I get to also share that like with my girls, their friends, and now other people. And that is super, super powerful. I love it. And the interns here during the pandemic, we actually had bought another packaging company. And during the pandemic, we had some kids around the corner that were like skateboarding, hanging out because they didn't have school all day because it was online. And they were talking with my dad and they asked, hey, do you have any jobs available? So some of these students, they would work part-time here around their school schedules. And one of them, it was his senior year, and he started to get pressure from his family to drop out of high school to be able to get a full-time job and support the family. And he expressed that he really wanted to get to graduate. And we talked with him about that is something for him. No one can ever take away your diploma when you earn something. So he would come here in the mornings and have a room where he could do his sessions on Zoom and do his schoolwork and then work for us. And he graduated from high school, and I still have a letter that I received from his high school from the counselors and his teachers thanking us for supporting him and giving him that way to be able to graduate. And that it wasn't for any other reason but that we just care and that we know the value of all of us being given opportunity.
Yeah, that's a beautiful story. I could feel the emotion from you. I'm feeling emotional from it. It's incredible that even today we, see that education is so important, and yet families in need, sometimes need a family member to drop out to be able to support the family.
Yeah.
And it's incredible that your organization was able to support this kid and their family, really, because you were able to support the kid's dreams in getting through high school and support the family by hiring him and having him work there. That's incredible. Something else that I picked up on that it's kind of refreshing a little bit in what we're talking about is how you, yes, address closing the gender gap, yes, address being an example for your daughters as a female entrepreneur, and at the same time recognize the significance and importance it is for boys too. I think in this day and age that we're in, we want to support all of the minorities and bring them up. We want to support boys and bring them up. And sometimes it gets a little lost in the shuffle that boys are important too, and they need role models and good examples, and they don't always have to be men. A great example to a boy can be a woman. I know for myself, before we got on, we were talking about what kind of households we were raised in. My grandmother was one of my greatest mentors growing up as a woman, and shared stories with me and things that resonate with me today and have really set the tone for my values and my morals. That came from a woman. And so I think I like the fact that you brought up not just the fact of showing up as an entrepreneur for the girls in the school, but also for the boys, and then showcasing this with supporting this young
They're
man.
equally as important.
It's so cool to hear.
If I feel very strongly and passionately about the fact that our goals as a society where we all can be on an even playing field in some way. That's only going to happen if we actually make it where it's about everybody having opportunity, and we all have our strengths and we all have our weaknesses, and really whatever our strengths are, like having opportunities based on that and not based off of anything else. And so just talking about girls or just talking about this or that, that's still dividing. It's still segmenting us. And the ultimate goal of my grandmother, and when she went to a 2-year college, and she grew up in on a farm, and it was not at first supported for her to go off to school. It was like, you're supposed to get married and all of those things. And so what she fought for, what my mom's fought for, is just to us all to be having those opportunities.
Yeah, that equality. I love that.
That equality.
I love that you bring that up. So this has been wonderful getting to know you and getting to know a little bit behind the scenes. I want to share with everybody that you are a full service packaging company, and they can visit Mid-Atlantic packagingcompany.com in order to learn more about your services. To book a free consult, definitely book a free consult. If you're selling anything in the retail space that includes packaging, it doesn't cost you anything to learn what else is available to you and perhaps how you could bring your brand into your packaging. And as we talked about earlier, it can really level up not just in terms of the perception of your business, but also your pricing. You can change your price point just based off of that. We saw it with Apple. Apple's a really great example of that. And then, of course, you have great community events coming up. So make sure to follow Mid-Atlantic Packaging Company on the different social media platforms. Make sure to follow them. There's a lot of great free information there and also a lot of great community events that they'll be hosting and being a part of. I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today. As we conclude the show, going into different spring breaks and all of this great weather change for all of us, I'm curious on what is your plan coming up soon?
My girls will be on spring break next week. So we are going to Florida. We're hitting up Disney World for a few days. And then
Nice.
I have a work networking group that I'm a part of that is all based. There's about 75 of us female founders of 7+ figure businesses. And we get together twice a year to learn from each other, have guest speakers, we network, we collaborate. So I'm combining both of my important parts of my life, my family, my husband, and my girls, and along with what I'm passionate about when it comes to work. So
That's awesome. I love that. I always talk about that, living in harmony. Work and play can certainly work
ooh,
together. And it's so much fun when the two meet. I really, really enjoy that, especially as entrepreneurs. It really is fun to bring our family in and for them to be a part of everything. My daughters were out there. I felt bad closing the doors on them, but they'll just distract me if I bring them in here. I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. I want to thank everybody for watching The Shining Light. We're live every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have amazing entrepreneurs just like Julie coming on and talking about why they're entrepreneurs, what inspires them, and how they can inspire you. If you're looking for some more inspiration, we do have our Take Action Mastermind community. We are going into, whoa, my goodness, I think our seventh month doing this. It's been really great. We've had some amazing facilitators, from being able to get on TV to being able to get on stages to getting your social media down. It's all about learning and helping you develop new skills as an entrepreneur to level up. And by the way, it's free. So just DM me if you'd like to learn more about it. We are live on Zoom May 14th, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You just grab your Eventbrite tickets. Julie, thanks so much for joining us today.
thank you for having me. It was wonderful to be here.
It's been great having you. Thanks everybody for watching. As always, stay happy and stay healthy, and I'll see you Monday. Bye, everybody.